Hello ladies and gents, welcome to the channel. So we're going to be talking about the future of Spider-Man as well as the incredible opening day at the box office. So Spider-Man No Way Home nets second highest opening day of all time with an astonishing $121.5 million. That's just domestic, so that's in North America. Madness, absolutely madness. But it's not only that, ladies and gents, it's the fact that it's, close to 300 million worldwide or something like that. Like it's crazy numbers. So let's just dive into this real quick. So after webbing up 50 million on Thursday evening, Spider-Man No Way Home has now scored the second best opening day in the history of the North American box office. The Sony Pictures Marvel movies crossover earned basically $121.5 million, placing it between Avengers Endgame at $157 million and Star Wars The Force Awakens at $119 million. So, in terms of the overall, bloody hell, that done really well. That did really, really well. Not unexpected, because Spider-Man movies always do really well. Right the way back to the Tobey Maguire stuff. They always do really, really well. It's just this character that just seems to capture everyone's imagination for some... I mean, I say for some strange reason, it's not. It's just a character that's really well loved. So yeah, they always do mega money. Now, they say this, that despite the limitations created by the pandemic, BS, Spider-Man No Way Home also had the highest opening day ever for December, and current projections via Deadline point to a 242 million weekend, and in terms of records, great. That would make the Wall Crawler's latest movie the fourth highest domestic debut ever. But like I said, it's absolutely blown out of the water worldwide as well. So yeah, smashed it. It'll be interesting to see tomorrow when Monday rolls around to exactly what it did hit worldwide plus opening weekend domestic, because I think it's going to just there was some estimations of 500 million. I'm not overly certain whether it'll do that, but it will hit major money. And I think even more so now, actually, when you've got people going, oh, Omicron, we're going to lock down the world again. People are like, right, sod this shit, let me go to the cinema immediately and watch this film. So it, like, in some instances, they've even hurried it along, made more people rush out real quickly into tight spaces, which there's definitely some sort of bittersweet irony about that, but less said about that the better, I guess. So there you go, absolutely smashed it. But not only that, ladies and gents, let's talk about the future of Spider-Man. So Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal has discussed their future Spider-Man plans, and they say, and I quote, "We want to top ourselves in quality and emotion." So great, absolutely brilliant. Long-time Spider-Man series producer Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige sat down and gave an interview. But this is their interview, basically. This is the New York Times, sorry. And so they say, we're producers, so we always believe everything will work out. Optimistic. I love working with Kevin, says Amy Pascal. We have a great partnership, along with Tom Rothman, who runs Sony, and has been instrumental, a great leader with great ideas. I hope it lasts forever. I mean, of course they do. They want to ride that gravy train all the way to every single meal, unequivocally so. So, interesting. I do find it, I'll tell you what I find perhaps most interesting, right? In Spider-Man No Way Home end credits, they say a massive special thanks to Avi Arad, blah, 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 all this kind of crap to Avi Arad. Yet he never does any interviews. It's always Amy Pascal. I just key point there. Isn't that interesting? No one else find that interesting? I think that's interesting. Makes you wonder how much creative control he has now. But anyway, so we have this from Kevin Feige. And he says, Amy and I and Disney and Sony are talking about, yes, we're actively beginning to develop where the story heads next, which I bloody well hope so. You would think that they would be doing that. And he says, which I only say outright because I don't want fans to go through any separation trauma, like what happened after Far From Home, the second film in Marvel's Spider-Man trilogy. That will not be occurring this time, Feige added. And this is obviously referring to the Sony-Disney dispute that they were having about money and how things would go and whether they would even work together again, which basically Sony kind of had them on the ropes with that, because Sony were like, well, no, we can just keep making them then. Because they can, legally they're able to use that Tom Holland character and just keep doing it. That is their character at this point in time. Pascal and Feige also explained how they first began working together. Not really any point in doing that. Going over this, but it is interesting. I threw a sandwich at him, apparently. And she said, I really want you to help on this next movie. We have these great ideas for the next film. It's amazing stuff, Feige recalled. And I said, I'm not good at that, giving advice and leaving. The only way I know how to help is we just make the movie for you, which is fascinating. Pascal, had disdain for that idea. She became open to it after Feige made more specific suggestions about how to bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Universe. He said, I have an idea. What if Tony Stark makes Peter's suit? And as soon as he said that, I understood the possibilities of what we could do together. To have Iron Man and Spidey in the same world, one rooted more in technological innovation, the new suit, and less in medical experimentation, which is where we were confined before. Felt so much more modern. Yes, modern. That's what we think of when we think of Spider-Man. Modern. God damn, honestly. But anyway, talking about the future very specifically, they say you can't think about topping yourself in terms of spectacle. Otherwise, movies just get larger and larger. But what? Are you alright? You're interrupting my video, boy. Cheers, mate. No. Anyway, that's a Jasper cameo, ladies and gents. I'm going to keep all this in, because that's how professional I am on Sundays. So anyway, continue. In fairness, outside of the the Jasper cameo, me looking blurry as hell, that is absolutely fantastic commentary. Saying, hey, look, we can't just think about spectacle, making that better and better and better, because each time, all you're going to do is just get the film larger, 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 and you risk basically doing what Marvel did, where you have this grand spectacle of where do you go from there, right? Sony have kind of got that. You can't have these big key world universe breaking events and keep trying to up the ante more and more and more and more and more, because then you have to bring them back down. And I think that's the trap, unfortunately, actually, that Marvel have got themselves in. So Amy Pascal has actually kind of got it right there. But they said this, but we do want to always try and top ourselves in terms of quality and emotion. Kevin and I never want to lose sight of one thing. Peter Parker, that he's a normal kid, that he's orphaned over and over again, that he's a teenager, so everything in his life is at heightened pitch and everything matters more than anything, that he's fueled by goodness and guilt, that he's striving for a greater cause, and he's vilified by the press. Love that. Loads of people, and me included, give Amy Pascal stick. Definitely warranted, but it does seem like she understands that at the very least, and that does show understanding. Now, on a lighter note, Feige commented on Holland's budding romance with co-star Zendaya. They aren't the first couple to take their Spider-Man romance off screen. Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst dated while making the original Spider-Man movies, and Andrew Garfield, blah, 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 blah. And Kevin Feige says, I took Tom and Zendaya aside separately when we first cast them and gave them a lecture. Pascal said, don't go there. Just don't. Try not to. I gave the same advice to Andrew and Emma. It can just complicate things, and they all ignored me. So, that's funny. Personally, but I think that's also a mistype there, because they say Feige commented, but then they say Pascal said, so I think that's actually a mistype from the epic people over at Variety. But what do you think? Absolutely smash hit, obliterating the box office. Be interesting to get that results in tomorrow to see what it did full opening weekend, but it is smashing it. Record breaker, basically. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below. What do you think about the future of Spider-Man? Where can it go? Did you watch it? Did you like it? Let me know down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. From me, and this noisy little pooch, I hope you have a great weekend. Take care.